Good evening, Safety Harbor Middle School. I'm not at a staff meeting. This is a community event. Good evening, teachers, colleagues, community members, parents. Welcome to our beautiful learning community, Safety Harbor Middle School. This evening is one of the district's Listen and Learn sessions that you're going to have the opportunity to provide feedback to district leadership, and hopefully you have the opportunity to meet Mr. Hendrick. I'd like to begin the evening with introducing Mrs. Eileen Long, Pinellas County School Board member. Welcome.
Thank you. I am glad to see so many of you out tonight. You know, we have a new superintendent and a new mission, and really his main goal is to build support and build morale. And I hope you are feeling it because he's done a lot of steps to do that. He's very approachable. And, you know, I taught for 35 years. My husband's still a teacher. And I know that sometimes we feel like we're left in the dark. Well, that's not going to be true with him. You have concerns, you have questions. He wants you to be a part of this. The board wants you to be a part of this. This is to help our school system grow, and it will help you understand our vision and make sure you're a part of it. So thank you all so much for coming out. Without any further comments, I want to introduce you to Mr. Kevin Hendrick.
Thank you, Mrs. Long, and good evening. It is a pleasure to have so many folks here tonight, both in person and online. We have folks listening in as well. So this is the 6th of 8 of the Listen and Learn sessions that we've had starting in July, and we finish up with our last one Monday night at Clearwater High School. I'm thrilled to be able to do these for a number of reasons, but one is to share a little bit about the school district, my vision for our school district, but also to solicit input in a variety of ways. So the format tonight, just so we're clear on what you signed up for when you showed up today, is that I'm going to give a brief overview of the district, talk a little bit about some of the areas that we're focusing on this year, and then specifically talk about the theme of tonight, which is staff experience. And it'll take me about 20 minutes to kind of go through the slides, present some of that information. From that point, you'll see all the posters that are in the room, and I'll touch on some of them in a little bit. You'll have the opportunity to give feedback in an individual way, and we'll talk about how that feedback looks. But I'll be around to talk to folks individually one-on-one, and there are district staff members here to do the same. And when your questions are answered and your feedback is given, you can go home. You're not trapped. There's not a 2-hour, process that you have to move minute by minute to different things and then stay for a wrap-up. Literally, you can give your feedback and go on about your evening. So it's designed to set up that way. So tonight we're going to look a little bit at our district strategic plan, which, by the way, our school board approved last night for the 22-23 school year. We'll talk about the different opportunities that we have this year that are in front of us and give you a chance to collaborate and give us some feedback and input on some ways to improve those. We want to get your experience with Pinellas County Schools. There are parents here, there are students here, there are community members, and certainly staff members tonight, and you'll be able to give that feedback in a lot of different areas. You'll see areas that we've done well, and we're also looking for feedback on those areas that we can improve upon. And really, literally, any area of the district is up for discussion. But first, a little bit about who we are. We are governed by a 7-member school board. Mrs. Eileen Long is our chairperson, and she serves as the chair for these 7 members. You can see them there. And we have, as a school district, we are the largest employer in Pinellas County. So over 13,000 employees. You can see the breakdown there of administrative staff, instructional staff, and support staff. But certainly of our 1 million residents, we are the largest employer. We have 128 traditional schools in our district. We have 3 adult education centers, 2 technical colleges, and our board also governs our 20 charter schools across our district that make up close to 100,000 students, from pre-K all the way up to our adult students. As a district, our budget, we have a $1.8 billion budget, which was also voted on last evening with our millage hearing and our budget hearing. And of that money, 80 cents on every dollar goes directly towards teaching, library materials, transporting and supervising students, and all the counseling and mental health supports and services that we provide. 12 cents of every dollar is part of our capital budget that goes towards acquiring, maintaining, keeping up our buildings. 4% goes to staff training, curriculum development, and support for teachers. And the other 4% is based on centralized services such as payroll, insurance oversight, and parts like that. So each dollar is accounted for of that $1.8 billion in a very specific way, and our budget is detailed and on our website, and you can take a look at that. Part of that budget includes our Pinellas County Schools referendum, which provides a supplement for teachers as part of their salary and support for the arts, technology, reading, and curriculum as well, instructional materials. And we're so grateful that Pinellas County voters have approved that 5 times now, going back to 2006. This year, as we've kicked off our school year, and now we're around the mid-20 in terms of days, I think I heard a teacher tell me day 24 today, we are, as a start of the year, focused on our core values. As a district, many folks could tell us our vision, which is 100% student success, and our mission focused on educating and preparing students for college, career, and life. But how you get there is on the core values that we all share. And so whether we are the superintendent, the classroom teacher, a school principal, someone who works in our food service industry, all of us need to have a set of shared values that we bring to our work site and to the service of our students and families every single day. So we spent a lot of time this year talking about those core values, and I'm going to just briefly state them for community members and those that may not be familiar with them, because I know our teachers are, because we've done activities around it, right? And so we talked about the curve of forgetting. You got to keep repeating them. So commitment to children, families, and the community is a core value that we recognize and is important. Respectful and caring relationships, connectedness, integrity, responsibility, and cultural competence. So those 6 core values help to guide our work and help to get us towards that mission and vision that we all so desire. I'm going to hit on a couple of points of pride as a school district. There are so many points of pride, and the ones that I'm highlighting are not the only ones, but you can see a lot of individual employee recognitions at the local and state level. Lots of names there that you'll see, national folks who have been in national competitions, and we're so proud of all of them. And one of them happens to be here tonight. I didn't know she was going to be here, but our Pinellas County Schools Teacher of the Year from 2022, Eileen Yacobucci. Miss Yacobucci, thank you for attending tonight. She's an art teacher at Eastlake High School and served out this, or was recognized last January. She'll serve all the way till the next one, next January. But we're in the process right now of doing our individual Teachers of the Year recognitions at our schools, and as well as our support employees of the year. And you can see a number of those who were recognized on the screen. Some of the data in terms of our student performance that I think is commendable and deserves highlighting is just how that mission of educating each student for college, career, and life comes to be. We're a district that's put a lot of emphasis on career and technical education, starting even in elementary school, where students can earn some smaller industry certifications, and then moving up into our middle school and high school programs. Last year, students in our schools earned over 10,000 industry certifications that are directly applicable to the workplace. Those aren't industry certifications that we've identified as important, but ones that businesses have identified as being important across our entire state. So they relate to things that our industry and workforce needs, and we're proud to offer those to our students. Likewise, about 4 years ago, we began a program called the Summer Career Acceleration Program, recognizing, as many folks have told us over and over again, not every single student is going to go to a 4-year college, and we know that. There are a lot of students who will exit high school with a diploma and need to go to work right away. Some of those students may also attend college part-time or maybe even full-time, but they need to work. And so we started partnering with our Pinellas Education Foundation and businesses across Pinellas County to offer summer internships where students get a full experience in an industry and have the opportunity to go to their senior year, maybe continue to work in that industry, and then be able to obtain a job right out of high school. Those have been nonprofits, they've been government agencies, they've been hospitality, everything from sort of what you would consider high wage, attorneys, doctor's offices, and everything that's just sort of beginning entry-level jobs. That project has been especially important because it's been focused on students whose grade point average is between a 1.5 and a 2.5. Not the highest achieving kids that everybody says, well, of course you give them an internship and they're wildly successful. It's focused on students where high school has been a struggle, and they know that they're going to need to work, and it's been a great shining star in our district. Many folks are familiar with our advanced placement courses, our college courses that we offer. We offer Advanced Placement International Baccalaureate, which, by the way, Safety Harbor Middle School is a candidate for International Baccalaureate as our North County, completing our South, Mid, and North County pathways for International Baccalaureate. We have the Cambridge ACE program, and then dual enrollment courses with St. Petersburg College, Pinellas Technical College, Embry-Riddle University, the University of Florida, and the University of South Florida. So our students in high school have the opportunity to take courses at all of those. Now, they don't drive to Gainesville. That's an online program, but that's available to all of our students. And then Embry-Riddle is only at one of our schools, but all those others, Pinellas Technical College and certainly St. Petersburg College, we offer both on our campuses and at the college site. That has led this last year to students completing over 20,000 college courses, 61,000 college credits, saving themselves and their parents $12.5 million in tuition just in the courses they completed last year in our schools. Now, whether they go on to those particular colleges or not, they're all transferable to whatever college they want to attend. And so we're very proud of our focus on college, career, and life, and a couple of examples there to show that through. So tonight, one of the areas that you'll have an opportunity to give us feedback is on the goals of our district strategic plan. There are 161 action goals. We're not going through any of them, but they're all there. But I'm going to give you sort of some of the broad themes and some of high focus areas so that you can see, one, that the district strategic plan is not something that only focuses on one set of students or one particular area of the district, but it really does try to touch on all areas, from all the sort of traditional curriculum things that you would think about, but going into finances and operations and some of those pieces as well. So I'm going to hit some high-level themes that you'll find in the district strategic plan, highlight a couple of those programs, but the design is just to get you thinking about these. So as you go up to some of the posters, you're able to give feedback thinking about, okay, when you talk about accelerating student learning through student experiences, that's what we're referencing. So the first one, accelerating learning through student experiences, really focuses on those areas in which we want to grab the attention of our students, make school fun, and make it about something that you learn that captures your attention for a long, long time. So for all the reasons we can all attest to, the last couple of years, we have gotten, as a school district, very good at delivering curriculum online. We've also now have laptops for every single student in grades 1 through 12 in our school district, and that's fantastic. It helps students at home. We have hotspots for families who need internet connectivity at home, and it really levels the playing field so that no one goes home where learning has to stop because they're not connected digitally. But when they're in front of our teachers, we don't want the device to be the thing that's happening. We want our teachers teaching, and we want those experiences to be ones that are dynamic and fun and energetic. And for a couple of years there, we weren't able to do that. Whether we weren't encouraging collaboration because we were trying to keep distancing, or we weren't able to because of absences and other reasons, or students weren't in school, and so we're trying to get back to that. So there's a number of examples here. We have a really great new partnership around really changing the way we teach middle school science and trying to make it more hands-on and project-based with new technologies. Our state standards in science haven't changed in 25 years, but certainly the technology in science has. And how do we capture that and make sure that we're equipping our students around that? This year we do have new best standards, of course, across our state, but how do we roll those out in a way that's engaging? And so I'll give you an example today. I was at a elementary school in our district and went into a classroom, and the teacher, using our curriculum, which was integrating science and ELA, English Language Arts, was hosting a Socratic seminar with their students, 5th grade students. And he had done this a number of times. This wasn't because he happened to think I might walk into his classroom today. This is what he does normally. And the kids were so engaged because of the way that the lesson was being delivered. He could have just as easily said, read this, write about it, and move on, but he chose to do it in a way that was engaging, and that's something we want to encourage in every one of our classrooms. So you'll see a lot of goals in our district strategic plan around that, and you certainly have the opportunity to give feedback on that this evening. The next sort of theme in our plan is around closing achievement gaps through equity with excellence for all. Many folks are familiar with our Bridging the Gap plan, which is designed to reduce and close achievement gaps between black and non-black students that we have had historically, not just in our district, but across our state and the country. And that is certainly part of this plan, but it's not the only part about closing achievement gaps. We want to help students who struggle with reading, those who have the characteristics of dyslexia. And so going back 4 years now, we opened up a program for students who struggle with dyslexia. We replicated that model 2 years ago so that we have one now in our South County as well. The first was at Eliza Nelson in Palm Harbor. You'll see a portion up here around our Boys Read Battle of the Books, knowing that our boys do not read at the same rate as their female companions. Sorry, guys in the room, but we don't. And so we wanted to interest boys in elementary school and get them more excited about reading. And so we created a way to have them read books of interest to them. Think about spiders and mechanics and cars, and get them to read about those things and learn that way. You'll see a portion up here around our Pinellas Early Literacy Initiative, trying to close reading gaps before they occur. It's much easier to close a gap for students in first grade than it is in 10th grade. And so when we talk about closing achievement gaps, it focuses on all areas of our districts, all kinds of students, and all parts in terms of the way that students learn, and we'd welcome your feedback on that. The third area for feedback tonight is on cultivating a culture of learning in a rewarding, healthy, and safe environment. As Mrs. Long mentioned, I've placed a lot of emphasis and reorganized some of our resources at the district level to focus on school climate and behavior. For, again, a lot of reasons that we can all talk about, students did not socialize as much as they typically did the last 2 years. And getting them back into a space where we expect normal behavior, we expect socialization to be occurring regularly, we expect you to know how to interact with one another is really important. So we've placed an emphasis on that, but also trying to put more resources into helping schools with behavior. And so not just suspending students, but how do we teach better behaviors? How do we create systems and climate that really encourage everybody to get along in a more healthy environment? Certainly school safety is a part of that, from a basics of everything that we do to keep our schools safe, from our school resource officers to how we have single points of entry and cameras and all of those things is part of our district strategic plan. But one of the new things this year is also an employee recognition program where we're taking those core values and trying to elevate our employees through those core values and recognizing them. That's one way. There's some other parts to that employee recognition program that we've been pushing out, some of them subtle, some of them a little bit larger, some you'll hear more about. One of them, I had the pleasure today to deliver each school board meeting. I do something called the Superintendent Standout, which is just an employee who's been recognized by one of their colleagues for exemplary work around these core values. And after a principal rolled that out at her school recently, she had one employee who on that day, 5 different people in the school recognized that employee. And so I recognized her last night, took her a little certificate to our school today, just trying to make all of our employees know that the little things matter and that we see the great work that's happening. The next area for feedback is on endless opportunities. And there's a couple of ways around that. One of them is just our choices. I just mentioned Safety Harbor and the fact that it's transitioning to an IB candidate school, which will also allow students and families who are interested in that to choice into this school. Right now, their closest option is Largo Middle School. This will give them one a little closer to home. We have over 80 of our choice programs, but we want those opportunities to be abundant both in choice programs, but also in zone schools and making them the top choice for families. You'll see some recognitions, and there's one more slide about this around our facilities. A beautiful facility at Safety Harbor here, always noted for its outstanding courtyard. But we're continue to improve our facilities and thank, again, our board for placing an emphasis on that. Just because we're a district that's over 100 years old doesn't mean our buildings need to look like they're 100 years old, right? So how do we continue to maintain them and improve them? And if they are historic in nature, like a St. Petersburg High School, for example, let's renovate it and take it back to a really high quality and clean facility. Professional learning is part of that opportunity for our teachers and trying to innovate and find new ways to motivate our teachers to keep that spirit alive and have that excitement around how I felt the first day I was a teacher, even though I might be in year 25. The next area in our district strategic plan is around preparing each student for success in college and careers. You've heard a little bit about that tonight in terms of our course offerings, but there are some programs that we've put into place the last couple of years and keep expanding to support our students, particularly in high school as they get ready to attend college. One of the areas that we identified that perhaps as a district we could do better was in the counseling that we provide to our seniors as they get ready to apply for college. the essays, the letters of recommendation, the financial aid forms, how to apply, all of the pieces that go into that, we felt that we needed to improve that. And so we've placed more resources into our schools, college and career centers, starting at 1 high school, then 5, then 9, and now this year all 17, and then repurposed some of our staff to man those centers and bring specific expertise to help school counselors with the work. Counselors are the experts in that area, and we want them to continue that work, but sometimes there's others that can help get someone to the counselor with some supports. So that's something we're proud of, and we continue to elevate in our district. We also have a program called Elevating Excellence, which operates during the year and in the summer to give students those supports that are important for the college admissions process, from opportunities for Bright Futures hours to SAT and ACT prep. Whether we like those tests, they are a factor in college admissions, and we want our students to have every advantage of those and not have to go pay companies for that tutoring. The last area in our district strategic plan is around deploying resources and those one-time state and federal funding that we've been the benefactor of, like so many districts and municipalities across our country. And so making sure that as we spend those funds, we do it in the intent of how they were given to us, but also that we don't create a fiscal cliff where we're putting in programs or hiring folks that we can't sustain when the money runs out in a year or two. So that's our district strategic plan, and tonight you're going to see a lot of posters sort of in the middle area here where you're able to give us feedback on any of those programs, positive, that are going well, some that could improve, and you're able to do that. Another area we're looking for feedback on tonight is on the student experience. And just quickly, I touched on that a little bit, but what our students do in classrooms, the opportunities they have to enrich their learning, and the extracurricular pieces that come with that. So you'll see some posters around the student experience. What does that look like? In particular, we're focused on our middle schools. How do we improve the middle school student experience? We can't change their age, and we can't change biological components that happen in middle school, but we might be able to change the way we structure them and the supports we provide, some of the courses and things like that. And so we're interested in your feedback on that as well this evening. But the big theme tonight is on the staff experience. And so there's a lot of posters over here in this area around staff experience. And you're going to see employee recognition, district office support, school extracurricular activities, school and district calendar, communications, staff engagement. There's sort of a wish list for teachers there, but lots of ways to give feedback on how do the staff members in our district experience their work. How do they experience, whether it's onboarding, whether it's what happens when, I talked to one teacher tonight, when they're asked to change their teaching assignment after 10 days because student numbers have fluctuated, all of those different things, right? So what is that staff experience, and how can we make it better and better for our teachers currently, for our support staff currently, but also things that we can improve in the future and make systems and way of work. So you see climate, culture, and expectations for worksite for all stakeholders, the resources, supports, and professional learning opportunities to be high performing in every single role in our district. And then, as I mentioned already, recognition and celebration of staff. So our vision and mission I've shared with you, and our core values. Our folks who are listening online and at home are going to have the same opportunity to give us feedback this evening in a variety of ways. So if you'll take a look at the posters that you'll see, you're going to see some of the posters have a little Likert scale on them, and there's little tables nearby where you can take little dots and just sort of rate the district or your experience or the student experience or whatever that is, where you see those Likert scales, and just put a little dot on the chart as to how things are going. And I think it goes from unsatisfied to very satisfied, and in the middle is unsure. And there's certainly a lot of things. Not everybody could possibly be an expert in all these things, so there's going to be a lot of things that maybe you just don't know about. And if that's the case, you don't have to give feedback on that poster, or you can just put, I'm not sure, I don't know. So that's the Likert scale ones. Almost on every poster, you'll also see an opportunity for written feedback. And so you can take Post-it notes and post those in there, or you can just write on them, is fine as well. The goal tonight is not that you literally do every single one of these. We're not trying to create death by sticky note tonight, all right? We do want your feedback on the ones that are most important to you. If you'd like to provide feedback on every single poster, have at it. We'll stay as long as we need to. But the goal is not that you have to move poster to poster to poster. We want you to find the ones that are important to you and then give feedback in those areas. While that's occurring, there'll be a number of district staff members that are here stationed by the posters who are sort of experts in that area. And so if the district staff members that are here that will be at the posters will just kind of stand and raise their hands real quick. That's your cue. There you go. All right. So you'll see them around, and you'll have an opportunity, if you don't want to post things on the board there, or you just have a specific question about your child or your work site or your situation, you can talk to them, you can talk to me, you can talk to Mrs. Long. So Mrs. Long and I will just sort of stand in the middle. We're happy to talk to any and all folks. There's quite a few folks here tonight, so we can't talk to each of you for like 30 minutes. That's really not reasonable, but we can certainly talk and get sort of what's on your mind, and if it needs to set up something further down the line, we might have a staff member who can help or another way to assist you later on. So you see, I think I went through these, the areas for recognition and feedback tonight, and you see kind of the ones just for staff that we have out tonight, and we've done this one other time at Bay Point Middle School, and then the ones on the right there in orange are ones that we've had each and every time. So again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening tonight to come here and give us feedback and hear a little bit about the district. Again, I encourage you to talk to district staff, Mrs. Long and myself, and we look forward to your questions. Start the feedback, and when you're done, have a great evening. Thank you very much.